Fat Dag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, Fat Dag.
Cheers. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. All at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 250 of Wise Advice. And man, did you ever think we would get here? I tell you, I didn't. It took me a while to even understand what a podcast was. But we're at episode 250, rocking and rolling, not stopping, going all the way to episode 1,000. That's kind of the goal, to at least get to 1,000 episodes. It'll take us some time, but we're going to get there. I shared with the live audience just before we went live. I shared with them I got a pretty decent update for you. I want to talk about what we did in Houston. I want to talk about some very, very sad news, something I've got to share with you, that something I figured out today that it just was absolutely devastating. I need to share that with you, get that out there, and then figure out have you help me recover from this tragedy. Got that, and then we'll talk about, I got an email from Kristen, and then we'll talk about the rest of the 2019 international tours we roll on. So that's all here. Let's go ahead and not delay much further. If you don't already, get the app, get the Wise Advice app out of your app store. The easiest way to find it, if you go to your app store, click on Wise Advice with Fat Dag, type it in. You could certainly go to fatdag.com and make the buttons very easy just to download the app there. Whatever it is, just get the app. I noticed I'm kind of running. I get an email from Apple telling me how many times the app is downloaded per week. And, it averages between 50 and 100 or so. This week was about 90 downloads of the app this week. And I was very, very excited about that. It told me the total revenue from that was $0. So it's a free app. Get out there, get to your app store and pick it up. Eric checks in from Hawaii. Wendy checks in from Hawaii. I love the fact that you folks are in Hawaii checking in live on the podcast. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here. We have an amazing community in the Wise Wingman Facebook group. Join us in there, will you? It's very simple. www.wisewingman.com. Get in there, get connected, and let's make it happen. So first up, I want to give you the update. I want to tell you some very, like I said, devastating news. I spent this afternoon, came home from work, and I was trying to make a quick change to the website. I wanted to add my retirement date calculator to the top of the website. So if you go to fatdag.com, you can see exactly how many days, hours, and minutes until my retirement ceremony from the Air Force. 27 years, 25 days in the Air Force, serving this nation in that capacity, all comes to an end in 154 days. Anyway, I wanted to get that website updated, and what I noticed was that the contact form on the website, sent an email to me to get your email on the show, completely broken. So that means if you sent me an email in the past, my guess is 60 days, I didn't get it. No, that's devastating. That's absolutely not the way this is supposed to work. I did make the correction, but if you're sitting here going, man, I sent him an email, he didn't even respond. Sure, maybe I didn't, but more than likely, I didn't get it. Yeah, so not good at all. So here's what I need you to do. If you've sent an email and it didn't get featured on the show, go email it directly, OnAir at fatdag.com. Shoot that to me. It'll come into my inbox. If you're thinking, I never really did send one, well, now is the time to do that. I'm going to be gone for the next 4 or 5 days. Fill the inbox up. Let's get this thing rolling when I come back. We have plenty of content to go through. So that is not exactly the intent, and that was not the plan for how this was supposed to be. But if that's the update there, I want to give you an update from Houston. We had a fantastic trip out in Houston. I was invited out there to speak at a chemical plant in Houston, Texas. And they invited me down. Janine and Megan were able to come down with me this time. And so that was an amazing talk. We kicked off the wellness campaign to a room of folks, about 50 or so folks in the room who were all ready to get motivated, get healthy, and just really completely change their lives. So I had the opportunity to share my entire journey. I walked through essentially the journey that I delivered to the Army as well. And I said, guys, here is what I want to deliver. Here is what I want to tell you. I want to tell you what my story is. I want to help you find your why. I want to ask you the 5 questions that we go through in the Wise Advice podcast, and we say, why? What are your expectations, and do you believe you can do this? And what's the hardest thing you've ever had done in your life? And what's in your way? And what struggles are you facing? And then lastly, who was responsible for your success? We walked through all that, and tell you, it was amazing. Jennifer brought us out there. Jennifer and her husband, Darren, amazing, amazing, amazing host. The first stop in Texas, we weren't even, an hour off the airplane, and we already could smell, see, and taste amazing Texas barbecue. It was just fantastic. Truly, truly one of the best barbecues I've ever had. Enjoyed every single second of that. But we had more so than that. The food was fantastic, but more than that, what was actually awesome was the company. We sat at their house for hours, and my daughter said it feels like a family reunion. And so we just had an amazing time hanging out with them, getting to know the family, and truly appreciate the fact that she brought us down. And then she coordinated also the very next morning, I coordinated the first stop of the international tour. So she made this all happen. If you remember her from the podcast of the Indy Ultimate, she's from Huffman, Texas. She said, Mike, hush, you changed my life, hush. And she kept interrupting me. So that's Jennifer. So she brought us down to Houston, Texas to kick off the 2019 international tour. We had a 4.4 mile walk. There was about 30 of the wingmen out there. It was Texas cold. Not necessarily New England cold, but it was actually Texas cold. So we get down there. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and we do a 4.4 mile walk. Some people stretched it out to about 7, but we had an amazing time just connecting as peers, connecting as wingmen, and just making sure that we were all on this journey together. It truly was the highlight of the weekend for sure. So that's what the international tour is all about. It's not about how fast you can run. It's not about how far you can go. What it's about is getting there, finding someone in the community who lives near you, who you can partner up with later down the road, that you have something in common with, that you can use together as an accountability system to help you reach whatever goals you want to set. It was an amazing opportunity for us to do that. After the walk, we went and had lunch at a Mexican restaurant, really good Mexican food out of Houston. So it was good to get back into that environment. And we sat there for almost, 2.5, 3 hours at a table of about 20. I think we had a table for 20, and we had to pull in some chairs at that point. So it was just such a fun opportunity. That's what the tour is about. The tour isn't necessarily, I know you can walk on your own. I know you can run on your own. I get all that. But what you can't do on your own is find people quickly and easily, maybe outside your workshop you certainly can, but in a setting where really there's no judgment. Really you can be anything you want to be, you can do anything you want to do. We just all come together, wrap our arms around each other, give a nice big Texas hug, and say, I believe in you, and I'm here to walk with you. And whatever it takes, I will not leave your side. So that's what Houston did. Houston kicked this whole thing off. We're now rolling into Atlanta, middle of February. We will be in Atlanta. I got to get the exact date. I think it's February 23rd or 24th, somewhere along that line. We roll into Atlanta. After we get that done, I will put that email. If you've already gone, go to fatdag.com, click on the international tour link, sign up. I will push all the details out for those interested in Atlanta only. I'll push that out to Atlanta. So you'll have that information. I'll find a walk or something that we'll do together, and we'll celebrate Atlanta style. So that's the deal there. So sign up on fatdag.com, get that squared away so that you already have the email in your inbox so you don't miss a single beat. You can do that. So that's the game plan there. So Game plan again, just to recap, because a lot of folks in Facebook are asking, if you sent an email in the last 60 days or so, there's a good chance I didn't get it. If you sent it directly, it probably came in just fine. If you sent it through the contact form on the website, that's the one that didn't make it. So if you opened your email browser, you typed OnAir at fatdag.com, you typed out an email, I probably have that. Yes. If you went to fatdag.com and you filled out the form and you typed into the website the form, that's the email that I didn't get. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So go ahead and shoot me it again. This time I've squared it away so it comes directly to my inbox and we'll take care of it. The first email for this show, and I just have one for the show, but because I want to recap again, but Kristen writes in and she says, Dear Fat Dag, like many others, I've been listening to your podcast for some time now. I've considered writing in many times before, but I know that now is the time. You always ask us if we believe in ourselves. The truth is, I believe in myself more on some days and less on others. I've been on and off Weight Watchers my whole life. My most recently, I committed myself on December 26, 2018. I spent Christmas Day, my 41st birthday, stuffing myself and feeling completely miserable. I decided when I went to bed that night that I was done I was done living this way. Since December 26, I've worked to stay focused on my goals. I am online only, and I find posts from others that they're a lifeline that I connect to daily. I've changed the way that I shop, the foods that I eat, how I prepare my meals and my snacks. I work on increasing my water, and I strive to get activity daily. I have joined various challenges in Connect, and I celebrate those new challenges. I've been so proud of these accomplishments, and then about 5 days ago, I tweaked my back during daily routine. The pain has been overwhelming, and I've been unable to participate in any activity challenges. This has led to feelings of frustration and fear. I have proceeded to make poor food choices, and I only got the blue dot 3 days this week. I have eaten Oreos and chips, even though I have healthy options prepped and ready. I know that I'm sabotaging myself with emotional eating. Well, tomorrow morning is my routine weigh-in day. I'm afraid of a gain. I know that the number is just data, and an increase would accurately reflect my lack of activity and several days of emotional eating. But Fat Dag, I do not want to face that gain. It's almost as if acknowledging the gain will only confirm my fear that I will truly never really reach goal, destined to yo-yo back and forth with my weight. I know I need to reset and refocus. Thank you for letting me get it out on paper, and thank you for all that you do. Sincerely, Kristen. Highest weight, 221 on 11/12/2018. Current weight, 200.9. Kristen, let's go with the complete obvious here in your email. You started this journey 221 pounds. You got down to 200.9 pounds. You lost 21 pounds deliberately. You took the action. You took some focus. You got deliberate in your life choices, and you lost 21 pounds. You cannot lose 21 pounds on accident. Completely impossible, and stay healthy. So you can't do that. So what happens is I'm extremely proud of you for understanding that the journey that you're now on is going to be difficult. I agree with you. I get it. But you woke up Christmas Day the day after Christmas, the day after your birthday, and you made a declaration that completely changed your life. You made a declaration that I was done living this way. So many of us, when we start this journey, it starts with words just like that. You get to the point where you say, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. Whatever it is, you say, I can't do this. And then you change your life. Now, what has to happen is you have to remember what that felt like at 221 pounds. It's why I ask people to write down your why when you start. Because 20 pounds later, it's sometimes difficult to remember just how miserable it was when we started. You forget the mindset that said, I am done, because 21 pounds later, you actually start feeling better. So you've done fantastic work, and I'm terribly sorry to hear about the injury that you suffered. But I want to offer you this. There is no rule in a weight loss journey that says you have to work out every single day. I'm a firm believer in exercise. But what I want you to know about it is exercise works on the mind first. It takes care of the body second. So the cool thing is you can actually take care of your mind without the exercise. Exercise certainly helps. So here you are loving the challenges, loving everything that you've done, and now you find yourself at a point where you have to make a detour. You can't work out the same way you did. I'm going to guess to say that you can probably do something. Now, certainly I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to push you in that path, but what I want you to know is that unless you're completely immobile, then something counts at this point in the game. The more important thing is all the foods that you prepped, the way that you now shop, the way that you now eat better, that can happen regardless of your injury. So I get the mental side of it, 100%. I get the fact that not wanting to go see the number on the scale. I've said it more than once on this show. You weigh the exact same to the ounce, whether you hop on the scale or not. Hopping on the scale doesn't add weight. Not hopping on the scale doesn't subtract weight. You weigh the same whether you hop on the scale or not. So what I want to do for me is I want to hop on the scale so I know. I can tie the action to a number. And as I see it, I can say, okay, if I continue to do that, this is what the scale is going to give me. And that gives me the motivation to say, okay, I'm moving on. I see the number. I got it. I know the actions that I did. I know they weren't perfect. I know they weren't aligned with my goal. And they lead to where I'm at on a weight gain. So that's the game plan there. Is I would encourage you to say, own it. Don't let it defeat you. Don't let it frustrate you. Now, the cool thing is if you're hearing me say that and it doesn't make any sense to you, you have the option to go check in and not weigh in. You can go to your workshop and just say, hey, I'm here. I just want to check in. I don't even want to see what the scale. What I want to do is I want to work really hard this week and make sure that I come in next week with a much better game plan, much better activity, much better choices that leads to a much better number on the scale. You have that option too. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that you're still in it to win it. You're down 21 pounds, and I'm confidently going to say that a couple days of overeating didn't put 21 pounds back on you. Maybe a couple, but not 20, right? So you've got this. You know the Oreos and the chips aren't leading you to where you want to be. You know that. Let's walk together. Let's join in and say, okay, it's time to reset. It's time to refocus. Let me look at the things that I did to lose the 21 pounds in the first place, and let me repeat them. Let me wake up in the morning on fire. Let me jot down my why. Let me figure out why I'm doing this, and let me completely embrace that. Every day, let me wake up and say, I know why I'm doing this. Find a way in the middle of the day to remind yourself of why you're doing it. The self-sabotaging with the emotional eating, we know doesn't cure the journey. And I've said it to myself out loud while I was emotionally still eating. So again, I completely understand it, but what I can tell you is that it does get better. What you said is that you have a fear that you'll truly never be able to reach goal. I completely disagree. You're not destined to yo-yo back and forth with your weight. You're destined to do as much great as you want to do. I've seen countless people completely change their lives, and they did it exactly how you started. They changed their habits. They changed their eating patterns. They changed the way they shop. That is what makes this work. And then they stuck with it. There were days they weren't perfect, and they went right back to the new habits. I posted this the other day on social media. The habits that you develop, the habits that you have right now, the habits of waking up and the way you eat and the way you exercise or not, the way you come home from work and do whatever it is you do, the habits that you have that led you to join this in the first place have to be changed. Those habits lead to a workshop. What I want you to do is I want you to develop new habits that lead you to somewhere new. They lead you to something great. And you'll get to the point where all of a sudden you're down 21 pounds, 22 pounds, 23 pounds. And no, you're not going to be perfect along the way, but you're perfectly going to keep doing it. That's where the true success is. So Kristen, very proud of you for getting this out of your brain, putting it on paper. You've now released it. You've released it to me. This part is my responsibility. I take it. I own it. Your responsibility now is to get right back at it and go after it. I believe in you. I absolutely believe in you. I know you can do this because so many people have done it. And so many people at that point jump up and down for joy and celebrate. So before I end the show, I just want to continue to just go back into the recap of the international tour. That's I want to hit you with that real quick because the game plan is the tour shirts have been ordered. If you pre-ordered, that order has been submitted. You should get them by the time I come back from Florida. I should have them, and then I will get them out to you. That's kind of cool. Houston, done. Atlanta, coming up. New York is in March. April, we're looking at Phoenix. May is Tulsa. June is going to be a barrage of Toronto, Indianapolis, and then July will be up in New Hampshire, and August will be Tampa. And then September, October, November, not exactly sure. Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Louis, you're on the list. I'll get some dates out for you at that point. But so anyway, that is the deal here. Thank you all for tuning in. It looks like we had some issues with the live feed tonight. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but the podcast certainly did record, so we're good there. You're hearing my voice, so that's the truth there. So anyway, so that's the game plan. I want to see you on the tour. I want you to go to fatdag.com. I want you to click on the international tour link, sign up, let me know you're interested. I will get the details out to you soon. Together as a community, we jump up and down and we celebrate, and I want to know what it is that you're celebrating. Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the Wise Advice podcast, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can email in at onair@fatdag.com, and I really want you to email in because when you email in, it does a couple things. It lets other people know that this journey is possible. It lets you release some of the energy that you kind of built up, and I want you to release that to me. Let me own it and take it. And then the last thing it does is it really just gets us as a community ready to rock and get it done, prove that we are all in this together. So thank you for that. That's going to do it for this time. Remember now that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Thank you for listening to the Wise Advice Podcast. Did you know for as little as $1 a month, you can take the next step as a wingman and support the show? Visit fatdag.com, click on Become a Patron today.